Today is Tuesday, February 23rd. I'd like to call to order this special Bay County Board of Commissioners meeting. If you would take roll for me, please.
Commissioner Fox?
Present in the chamber room.
Commissioner Begic? On.
Well, I think you went to eat.
Commissioner Coonan?
Here, Bay City.
Commissioner Herrick?
Here in Bay City.
Commissioner Radke?
President in the Bay County Chambers.
Commissioner Johnson?
Present in Essexville.
And Commissioner Coogan?
Here in the chambers. Thank you. We'll stand for the invocation and the Pledge of Allegiance.
Lord, we ask that you bless this session of the Board of Commissioners this day, and that you lead and guide this board in the decisions made so that all citizens in this community will benefit. Amen.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Next, citizens input. Is there anyone Zooming that would like to address the board? Is there anyone from the public that would like to address the Board of Commissioners today? That being said, let's move into items of consideration. What we're going to do today is we're going to discuss the process that we're going to follow on the interview of the candidates for the office of the Bay County Road Commission. The game plan will be to have the candidates come to the county building on the 4th floor. We will work arrangements with the administration to have these individuals kept at a safe space or in a room that will allow them, when it's their turn to come to be interviewed by the board. There will be a room set up with a computer so that you'll be able to zoom in. And that would be the game plan at our special board meeting that would be on March 2nd following the Ways and Means. So we're probably looking at a time of around 4:30 to start the interview process. We do have 3 people that have pulled their names from our list, with the latest being Joe Rivet, Tom Ryder, and we would also say that we would encourage everyone to make this meeting here to be able to have our get-together. That being said, we have questions that were circulated out, that we have responses from the county commissioners, and we've looked at them, and I have it down to just actually 7 questions now. If there's discussions on the questions, I'd like to refer to them by number and not the actual question, so that we can keep it so that the individuals that are coming in all have a fair shake at responding to the questions that would be delivered by the commissioners. So I guess I would throw it out there. Are there any discussion needed on the questions? Is everybody comfortable with what we have out there?
How much time are we allocating?
That's the next question. So I thought or looked at maybe coming back to everybody and saying that maybe we would allow at least 10 minutes per candidate. But then again, 10 minutes may be long for some and not long enough for others. So my thought would be that we allow each candidate whatever time is needed to respond to the questions. So I'm throwing it out to the board on suggestions or what direction you would like to go. We could do 5 minutes, we could do 10 minutes, or we could leave it open-ended. Response. Go ahead, Tom.
Yeah, I would think that, I think we could top it at 15. You know, I don't think we, that should be plenty of time for anybody. I don't know if you need a minimum, but I do think you need a maximum. you know, and at 15, we've all seen people come in and just, you know, for different things, but just keep going and going and going. And we just need to, like, I think that'd be my assessment on what would be a fair amount of time for anybody to say what they need to say at the max.
Okay. Good suggestion, Commissioner. Anyone else? Jamie.
Yeah, sorry, I'm here. I'm kind of waving at you. Usually I'm in there. It's sort of the same vein that Tom was just talking about. If we capped it at 15 minutes, you might end up with a situation where someone didn't get an opportunity to answer all the questions. If you were to do something where you maybe capped the time per question, like per answer, might that be a little bit more equitable? If we did something where you only had, say, maybe 3 minutes to respond to each question or 2 minutes to respond to each question, if we did it something like that. Just a thought.
Okay. Commissioner Coonan, any thought?
I think 15 minutes is plenty, and you know, I don't think we should get too specific. Folks should be able to respond to those questions within that amount of time. So,
Okay. Commissioner Radke.
I agree with maxing it at 15 minutes to allow the candidates to answer the questions.
Okay. And Commissioner Fox?
I agree with the cap as well. I think 15 minutes gives them roughly 2 minutes a question. Some of them are not 2-minute answers.
Correct.
So then along those lines, I would also say I'm not a fan of yes and no questions. So there's a couple here that are yes and no question that I would like to see reworded if possible.
If you would send me something via email so we can review.
I can. Yeah, number 4 I think can be. Number 6 I'm not so sure, but number 4 I think can be reworded a little bit.
Okay. And then obviously number 7 will be a yes and no, and that's pretty much number 7.
Oh, I'm looking at the old list, so.
Here, let me share with you.
It was number 6 on the first list.
No, number 6 on the first list. Yes, 4 and 7. 7 I think is pretty much not much you can do with, but
Right.
4 I think can be reworded a little bit.
Yep, if you can have that.
Okay, thank you.
So if you would send me something on it that we can review, and then I'll circulate that out to the rest of the commissioners so
Okay.
that we'll have that going into next Tuesday's meeting. That'd be wonderful. So I think what we're doing is we're going to give all the applicants ample time to answer questions that we now have. So that being said, I would like to see a motion, if you would, Marie, making sure that all the candidates know that we're going to move forward with them coming in on March 2nd in our special board meeting for interviews. And then at that time, after we're done with the interviews, we would then vote for the appropriate candidate for the road commission.
With a 15-minute cap per
Yes.
candidate, that's my motion, so moved.
Okay.
What he just said.
That being said, discussion on the floor. Any comments?
Is anybody seconding my motion?
I second.
Support that.
Okay, so Commissioner Radke would have seconded. Any other discussion? With that being said, roll call, please.
Commissioner Coonan,
yes.
Commissioner Herrick,
Yes.
Commissioner Radke,
Yes?
Commissioner Johnson,
Yes.
Commissioner Fox,
Yes.
And Begic is not here, correct? So Commissioner Krieger.
Yes.
So 6 yeas.
Thank you. All right. Thank you for that. Next, we would have unfinished business. Anything on unfinished business? New business?
I have a question. Do we excuse Commissioner Begic, or what do we do here? I don't want to, he was here, but he was not here. So where are we at with that? So what do we have a marked as? What I want to know.
I did absent.
She did mark it as absent. And if we need a motion to excuse,
I would make that.
very good. So there's a motion to excuse Von Begic. I need a second.
Support.
Supported by Commissioner Fox. Any discussion? With none, roll call, please.
Commissioner Herrick.
Yes.
Commissioner Radke.
Yes?
Commissioner Johnson.
Yes.
Commissioner Fox.
Yes.
Commissioner Coonan.
Yes.
And Commissioner Krieger.
Yes.
6 yeas, 1 absent.
Thank you. Thank you. Anything else under new business? Miscellaneous? Announcements? I do want to mention that next week when we have our Ways and Means and our full board, the only commissioner besides myself that'll be in chamber will be Commissioner Fox. So the rest of the commissioners will be Zooming in, and that will pretty much go the month of March, at least until the 29th, until we get another direction from the governor, just to give everybody a heads up. Any reason for a closed session? Amber?
There is not, Mr. Chair.
Very good. So at this point, a motion to adjourn would be in order.
So moved.
Excuse me, got a question. Sir?
Yeah.
Mr. Chairman, Paul Wasik here. I am currently on vacation and will not be back home until the 9th of March. Is there any way that my interview could be done via Zoom?
Yes.
I apologize for that, but we have a situation with my mother-in-law here that we've made arrangements already to bring her back at that time. So I'm not going to be home in time for your
So
in-person interviews.
Julie, we'll be able to accommodate that. Yes, that'll
Yeah,
work.
absolutely, we will, for sure. And that goes to any candidate. I think if they, I know you said in person, but if any candidate could make it, or sure, we'll have the links available. Indiana has the information available, so at any time, so you didn't want to join that, maybe not, didn't want to attend at 4 o'clock, but say you wanted to get on at like 4:20. We let people in throughout the meeting too, so.
So Julie,
there
one
won't
of
be
the
issue.
One of the concerns that I have is in the interviewing process, each candidate will be given specific questions. I'd like to make sure that when Paul comes on, that he's not brought into the group of watching the interviews. So if there's a way, when Paul comes in, he's blacked out until it's his time.
Sure, what I'll do is I'll just leave him in the waiting room. And then when he comes in, if I have the list of questions, I can share my screen and he'll be able to see the questions as you're asking him.
Okay.
That way, I know you're going to ask them, but maybe if he could see them too as well, share the screen.
I'll have Deanne send that to you. Oh, there is a question, a comment from Amber Johnson. Yes.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Technically, we cannot keep any of the candidates out of the public meeting. It is an open meeting. They are allowed to watch. What the board can do, however, is request that those candidates please not view the other candidates' interviews because it would give them an unfair advantage. We can ask them to comply with that request, but we cannot keep them from the meeting if they choose to join in. But you certainly can request that those candidates not join the meeting out of respect for the process.
So when we're done with this meeting, Deanne, I will ask you to send out a notice to to these candidates that we'd like to have them here in person, but if for some reason they can't make it, we would appreciate that they would follow the candor of not listening to the other candidates until it's their time to participate in the meeting. Okay?
Yeah.
Very good. That'll take care of you then,
One
Paul?
more question, Mr. Chairman. No, one more question,
Sure.
please. Expect to make an appointment after that particular interview, or will that come to another meeting and perhaps later in March or in April? I guess. How much longer will the Bay County Road Commission be short one particular commissioner?
After the interviews, we will be voting for the individual to fill that position. So it'll happen that same day.
Okay. Thank you very much. Appreciate it.
You're welcome. You're welcome. All right. So there was a motion to adjourn. I need a second.
Support?
All those in favor, roll call, please.
Commissioner Radke,
Yes?
Commissioner Johnson,
Yes.
Commissioner Fox,
Yes.
Commissioner Coonan,
Yes.
Commissioner Herrick,
Yes.
Commissioner Krieger.
Yes,
6 yeas, 1 excused.
we are adjourned. Thank you for your time.